Norwegian Singles. You see it all over YouTube at the moment and elsewhere on the internet, I'm sure. It sounds like some kind of dating app, doesn't it? But it isn't. It's an approach to running which was used by Christopher Ingebrigtsen, the elder brother of the famous Ingebrigtsen brothers. Jakob Ingebrigtsen being the most famous. And one of his brothers, I forget which one, gave him a training schedule to try to get fit. He calls himself a hobby jogger, and he did very successfully with it. Now, the elite Ingebrigtsens are famous for something called double threshold runs, where they would run twice in a day, and the first session might be run at their first threshold, sort of top of zone 2 for us mortals, and the second one would be run as intervals at the top of zone 4, so just below their anaerobic threshold. And this was modified for Christopher to run 3 interval sessions a week just below the anaerobic threshold, LT2, and 1 long run, and the rest easy runs. So hence the Norwegian Singles, Norwegian single threshold sessions. But it's really not a great name for it. It's had lots of names in the past. Cyclists might call it sweet spot training. Runners would probably call it sub-threshold training or threshold training. In the end, what does it matter? It's just a name. And what it's really trying to do is for people who have a limited amount of time to train in a week, or like me, being a little bit older, can only sustain a certain amount of training during the week, how to maximise the load that you get in that time, and therefore the adaptation, and therefore the speed. That's what it is in a nutshell. So this approach was made, well, internet famous or YouTube famous by a guy called James Copeland, who's a very humble guy, very thoughtful, and I actually really like the stuff that, well, I was going to say he's put out, but he hasn't put it out. Other people have sought him out and interviewed him, and his approach is beautifully simple. He trains 7 days a week. He alternates easy and hard days, and then on the 7th day he runs a little bit longer, but he runs it easy. And he's running 8 hours a week ish. Made it a little bit longer for his marathon attempt, and then he went off, ran London Marathon in sub 2:25, like you do, and that got him a lot of attention. Now, I think we have to temper that a little bit with the knowledge that if you look at him, he's already got the build of an elite marathoner. I don't know what his weight is or his BMI, but I would guess he's somewhere between 20 and 22. He's also got a monster aerobic engine from years of training for cycling time trials, but that doesn't take away from the fabulous progress that he made and others have made using this approach. But let's be clear, I'm a step before where James started. I'm carrying too much weight. My BMI is 24 point something. I would be better off down below the 22. And I'm not running enough kilometres per week or enough hours per week to really need to maximise the load by putting those sub-threshold sessions in. So is Norwegian Singles a good name for this approach? I don't know. Does it matter? As long as everybody understands what it is by that name, then you can call it whatever you like, can't you? The James Copeland method. Sir Pock rules. Who cares?